Alright, so today is a pretty special occasion. We came out and shot a bunch of real guns. We're not done, we're going to continue shooting. But I just put together another airsoft gun for myself. So I decided, why not? I just finished it this morning. I'll bring it out here and shoot it and make an overview video out in the middle of nowhere where it's nice and peaceful. So this is an S&T PPSH. So these things have been around for a long time. I'm talking like 8 years, maybe even 9 years. These things have been out for a long time. I remember when I was a kid, they sold these at a local store, Airsoft Smith, if any of you guys have ever heard of it. They sold these there for like $350 or something like that, something crazy. And I used to be like, oh, I really want to save up for this, back when I was broke. I never ended up getting it because it was a lot of money. Honestly, these guns are not worth that cost. I bought this on HopUp for $140 shipped. I couldn't pass up that price. The guy, I think he said he used it like 2 or 3 times and that was it. So it's pretty much brand new, and I knew I was going to gut some of the internals and put new stuff in anyways. So I wanted to get it as cheap as possible. So I spent about $140 on it for the gun itself, and then about $100 on parts. So I'm about $250 invested total. And it's a pretty solid gun for that cost. So some of the guns that I do like the HPA systems. They're costing me $400, $500 for, you know, a totally built gun. Whereas this was only about $250. So one of my more budget ones, which is nice. The idea behind this gun was going to be 400 feet per second with .2s on about 25 rounds a second. Turns out this thing's only running about 350 with 2s, and I think it's coming down to a mislabeled spring. I got a Garter SP120 and a short stroke 1 tooth, and it should be 400. But it doesn't sound like it's that heavy of a spring, so maybe it's a mislabeled SP110, because they don't do like SP115s, so it's probably a SP110, which short stroke by 1 tooth is about 350. So if this is a SP110, then that FPS is correct. So I think I'm just going to leave it where it's at and just not worry about it. If I didn't already say, it is full auto only. The selector switch on these things are really, really bad. They're not reliable. It's not a good system. They're made in China. They're just not good designs. So you're kind of stuck with full auto on this one at least. The semi was functioning somewhat when I first got the gun and I dry fired it, but just after taking it apart a couple times, the system just doesn't seem to want to work very well at all. So let's start from the rear and just go to the front and talk about features. So on the back, it's got a metal butt plate. You can swing it open, push a little button on the inside, and then it'll swing open. I am using Tamiya stock connector, and I'm using a 2000 milliamp. This is like one of those WeTechs. It's the round style that looks like it'd be a NIM, but it is a LiPo, and it's 2000 milliamp, so a lot of power. I think the C rating's like 15 to 25. It's kind of basic. The gun seems to be holding up with that power of a battery. It is real wood stock, which is pretty cool. It's pretty dark finish. I think they used to be a lot lighter and look pretty crappy. But this is real wood, and I think they've updated it the past couple of years, so it's decent. The upper receiver here is completely steel. This whole top portion. It's got sights right here. They're non-adjustable. Oh, actually you can, looks like, flip that. Not very easily, but you can flip that 2 different apertures, and then this one is non-adjustable as it looks. I took the big orange tip off as well. These are kind of iconic guns. You just look at them and you see the big shroud on the front, and it's just so unique. Everyone knows what a PPSH is, everyone that plays airsoft at least. Other features, takedown on it is pretty simple, at least to get like to the hop up. What you're going to do is normally you're going to lock the bolt back. Mine is messed up, and I'll get to that later. But you're going to pull the receiver back and start to lift it up. But I have to pull my bolt back, and then it completely comes apart. And you can see into your hop-up, so it's easy to replace parts in here, which is pretty cool. It looks like most of this hop-up is metal, and the ring, the adjustment portion, the rotary part, is plastic. But it seems to run great. It's stock, and it shoots 175 feet-ish. At 350, that's pretty good. So down here, this is the magazine catch. It does fold down, which is pretty cool. You got the selector switch, semi full auto, and then the trigger. The trigger pulls kind of cringy. It's long. It does have a micro switch, so it's got like a fine break, and the reset's pretty short, but it's kind of long. So beware, you're not going to be spamming your trigger with this thing at all. that's pretty much it for the externals, really. There's not a whole lot to talk about. So magazine-wise, it comes with a drum. These are like 40 bucks, so they're not that expensive, so I might get another one. But you wind it manually. It's not auto-winding or the flash mags. It's just a standard wheel. It's decent, though. It seems to feed fine for me. But the internals on this thing that I did, at least the things that I changed out, I put SHS 13-in-1 high-speed gears, short stroke by 1 tooth, the Garter SP120, which I'm thinking it's just an SP110, mislabeled, misboxed. I have an SHS metal rack piston with a aluminum piston head, a SHS high torque motor at 16 TPA, so it's like a balance, really, and also matrix steel bushings. So that's it, pretty budget. The gears that came in here actually look decent. I've seen some videos back in the day. People made videos on these guns like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and they took them apart, and they had different gears and a different motor. So I'm not sure if they updated this at some point, but the gears in this were actually pretty dang good. They were steel. They were like ZCI, like 18-in-1s, or even like comparable to really SHS 16-in-1s. Like pretty good gears, honestly. But the motor was pretty crappy. It looked like a JG Blue because it had a blue end bell, but it was just non-neo magnets. It was kind of junk. So out of the box, I've seen videos anywhere from 360 to 400 with .2s. They don't seem to be that consistent on the FPS, so you might get one that's 400 or 360 or whatnot. It does have a quick change spring system, which you can actually access through here, which is pretty cool. Okay, so here it is. Let's just go ahead and shoot some right here. This is a pretty much fully charged battery. It's actually pretty impressive. The rate of fire is actually pretty good. The shimming's really good. It sounds solid. I think I mentioned this earlier. Normally this is blowback. I really wish the blowback feature would work on this thing, but the design on here is not good. It's not. So right now you can barely pull it back. It's kind of weak. And as you can see there, the feeding is just fine with the standard drum mag. So I don't want anybody telling me in the comment section, hey, the real one only shoots, you know, like 600 rounds per minute. No, the real one shoots dang close to 25 rounds a second in real life. It's between 20 and 25. They're pretty dang fast. And I'm just going to shoot up into the trees out there so you can see the BBs. They go pretty far. Okay, that's enough for this video. I've shot probably 1,000 rounds within, oh, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. So I'm sure the battery's probably getting a little bit warmed up by now. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to go give this a try. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.